Hey everybody, this is Lewis of the Full Moon Folklorist. How are you? I hope that you're doing alright this evening. I'm doing this video to talk a little bit about Hi John the Conqueror by Zora Neale Hurston, and there's a lot to unpack. I just finished it, and so there's a lot to unpack. So Hi John the Conqueror is basically a folklore hero, and he is the representation of hope amongst black folks, hope within black folks, basically hope in general, and our overall strength. And so he is very much a figure for black folks who practice hoodoo, who believe in social justice and believe in personal justice, and basically wanting to tap into their own power and to overcome obstacles. In folklore, he is compared to Brer Rabbit or Anansi the spider, who are both tricksters. So the story that comes to mind is a story about how he and the other slaves astral travel to both heaven and hell to find a song for the slaves to gather hope around. So the beginning of the story is they are hopeless, they feel hopeless, and they don't know how to get through the day. And so Hi John the Conqueror is saying, like, look, I want to show you a place where you can go, and so you can find a song to give you the hope that you need. So we're going to travel somewhere. They were like, where are we going to go? We don't know what to do. What are you talking about? And Hi John the Conqueror was like, I want you to get dressed and look the way that you imagine yourself. Go within yourself and find that part of you. And so the slaves do that. Then he says, go and let's go underneath this tree. Just sit there for a minute and close your eyes. And so that's what they do. And so he comes back, he goes off, and then he comes back with a crow, this huge crow that all of them are able to sit on. So first they travel to hell, where Hi John the Conqueror married the devil's daughter, and they want to stay there to find their song. And Hi John was like, no, where you need to find your song is not here, it's in heaven. So they go to heaven, and not only do they go to heaven and find God, they also find their instruments, they find better clothes, they are bathed and robed, and they are treated with dignity and respect. So when they come back, they are underneath this tree, and Master is yelling at them, but they are not paying him any mind, right? At least Hi John isn't. So basically what he says is, they heard what Master said, and they felt bad right off. But Hi John the Conqueror took and told them, saying, don't pay what he say no mind. You know where you got something finer than this plantation, and anything it's got on it, put away. Ain't that funny? Us got all that, and he don't know nothing about it. Don't tell him nothing. Nobody don't have to know where us get our pleasure from. Come on, pick up your hoes and let's go. So basically he said, look, they have nothing. They can't put anything on us. We have our collective power. All we have to do is reach into it. And that kind of reminds me of the fact that the state is often trying to take away our joy, often trying to take away our peace, and trying to disrupt it in every way, shape, or form to not only keep us stressed, but to psychologically terrorize us in a sense. And so what that is saying is, what Hi John is saying rather, is we don't have to allow them to know where we get our power from. Our power is not from the outside world. It's within, and we are to tap into it. This also puts me in the mind of the trans identity, right? Where we are often, at least I feel that when I read that passage, Hi John is basically saying, like, look, we are to, as a trans collective, we can tap into our inner self, our authentic self, especially if we're not out of the closet. We can tap into our inner self and see ourselves as we are authentic. And when I see myself, I see the person that is looking into the mirror in this video right now. What Hi John is saying can most definitely be a metaphor for the trans identity, and looking within ourselves to find and rediscover our authenticity in order to get through the day, in order to see who we really are, and to imagine ourselves and see our power as a result of that. So that story really has me thinking about how it's so important for Black folks, regardless of their gender, to look within ourselves and find our joy in some way, shape, or form, to tap into that joy and to never forget it, because that is a form of resistance. That is a form of Hi John working in our favor. The fact that we can find our joy and find humor and find ourselves, our authentic selves, in a way that can never be taken or destroyed. And so that is what I got from Hi John the Conqueror, at least for now. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If y'all have anything y'all want to say, by all means, just say something in the comments, and I would love to hear what y'all have to say in regards to Hi John the Conqueror. If you've read it, or if you work with the actual root as well. So on that note, y'all take care. Peace.